Okay. Welp. I made some changes. Hopefully that works. Functionally, 2 changes. I downscaled the cameras. So both this camera and the stove I set at a much lower resolution in OBS. So it should not, hopefully, continue. But honestly, no promises, because I have no idea. I have no idea why any of that is happening. So that's fun. I'll have to figure it out later and go from there. Anyway, where were we? Oh wait, where's my thing? Where's the chat window? SB chat, docs, SB chat. Where is it? Oh, hold on. Why are you all in there? Come over here. I want you over here. I want you to chat. I want you. All right. Cool. We have an ad starting in a couple moments. I'm sorry. It happens at the beginning of the stream. Sorry. I do need to put this. We were stirring this on the stove. This is now viscous and thick. And I'm going to put it in SoFluff. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm just going to go ahead, honestly, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and just roll through this ad because I would like to finish this section of stream today. So apologies for folks. I don't want to put words on stream up right now. I want to get this part done, and we're going to. Because I then, I want to keep going. Gloop looks gloopy. Gloop is gloopy. It looks like it's supposed to, which is kind of nice. I have no idea why that was happening with the camera. If I'm being real honest, if it happens again, I don't. Hi. I just don't know what to. I don't know what to do about it in this moment. So, our cameras are downsampled. What did I change? I changed. I'm making OBS work harder because I have a filter on my microphone now. That's the only thing I changed in OBS. I wonder if that. I quite literally. I wonder if that has to do with anything. Because before I had no filter in OBS, and now I have a filter, and I feel like it's just asking it to work harder. And to be fair, my instance of OBS was taxed already. So I don't know. This is going to get mixed in. So we're mixing this sauce in so it's completely incorporated. High priority in task manager. I feel like I definitely need to do that. What happened, so I can see what's happening. Now what's happening. I can see when that starts to freak out, when resource values, memory, values, disk. When it starts to freak out, I can see in OBS that my CPU usage jumps up to 30. It was like at 30 plus percent, which is obviously less than ideal. Task manager details. Details. And OBS. Set priority. High. Do you want to change the priority? Could cause system instability. Fuck it. Today we roll. All right. That's done. Lemon, thank you, as always, for your technical knowledge. Which filter am I using? Noise reduction, I think. I forget what filter. I literally just set it up today. What is it? Noise suppression. Yeah, it's just the onboard OBS. It's not a separate one. Okay, so we've done all that. Now we're gonna add this is mix number 1. So we're going to add the fruit to this one. You dump a little bit more, just like there's a slight bit of pineapple juice in here. So we're gonna dump the pineapple. Oranges. Oh, still more juice. And cherries. I'm gonna mix. I guess I'll just put the cherry juice in here. I don't care anymore. Not that I don't care, but I'm not using it for the recipe anymore. The recipe is finished with it. Okay, and then this is the pot I had the sauce in. I'm just rinsing this out. I'll put some water in this for a moment. Okay, I'm gonna mix all this in. Stir thickened sauce into cooled pasta and fruit, refrigerate. That's it, just refrigerate. So this is gonna go in, and then this is gonna go in the refrigerator. And tomorrow is when I'll be able to add the rest of the Cool Whip. If I want. It could also be the following day. This sets up in this sets up in the fridge. And yes, when that happens, to me, I see in OBS the little I see my couple things happen. My upload rate drops to 1 meg per second. My CPU usage jumps to 30 some percentage, and the video is choppy, and it just it slows. And I know that it's my computer, because when I go to change, if I hit a button on the Stream Deck, the Stream Deck doesn't work either. So it's definitely just something on the computer. I don't have any onboard diagnostics firing at the moment, so. This is where we leave this. So from a next step standpoint, this is what we got. This is the salad before it goes in the refrigerator. This is the one with the fruit added. Damn, that is so good though. It's so good right now. And it's funny because it's I know it's so much better. I know it's so much better after it's had a chance to sit overnight, which we're gonna let it do. All right, this is ready to go. Next we have, oh, perfect. I can just sit these two on top of each other in the fridge. That's ideal. All right, next is going to be mixing the flour, sugar, and egg together in the pan or in the bowl, and then adding hot liquid to it. So I'm not adding not going to add blueberries. Yeah, this is definitely a this is like a grandma picnic salad. That is exactly what this is, Baker. I am the prompt for this that I was following. So this is I'm gonna give this pan a little rinse out here real quick, or a scrub. The prompt for this, I had two prompts. This particular one. One was summer foods, and the other one was grandma foods. Lemon. It will count it if you write it as a command. We do have a rinse counter now. I know that second one doesn't count because it was an illustrative point. The Twinderella Memorial rinse counter. We're not memorializing anything other than the fact that they were asking for it for a long time. Okay, so this one is going to be, I'm going to mix the sugar in with the egg first and create something like a custardy base. And then we'll mix the hot liquid into this. Actually, I can start heating this up right now. Okay. Oh, and I don't know why I'm using a fork. I could be using a whisk for this. It's okay. Hey, Cyborg, thank you for the resub. I appreciate you. I hope you're having a good day. A good Tuesday. I hope you're having the Tuesday you were hoping for in the world in which we inhabit. So we're just adding it. No, it's a shit show. Well, technically, I've been having a bit of a shit show myself today. Otherwise, I'm actually having a really nice day, and all the tech issues aside, they're just tech issues. It's okay. We have them. I think I said this to Cheese on Saturday when we were streaming. I think I said something to the effect of, I've never had a stream without a tech issue. And I don't know if that's true necessarily, but I know pretty definitively something happens every stream that I can't really control. All right, so I added the sugar, I'm adding the flour. So we have basically an egg yolk, sugar, flour mix. And then I'm gonna add some hot juice from the stove into this afterward. If this process is about roughly the same, if it ends up kind of roughly the same as the other one, the same is good. Better would be ideal. But as long as it's similar, this is what I'm going to have this recipe do, because I can't I can't in good conscience suggest you mixing hot liquid into two separate vessels, one for the egg, one for the flour. That just seems like a waste to me. So fluff, I love that. Toe beans on the keyboard. The kittens that we have are not around right now, but as of this morning, 2 of the 3 of them have their eyes open, which is super cute. Hey, Mix, a bonus. Oh yeah, bonus check-in. Everybody gets to check in again if you want to. This will be the 3rd time this stream y'all can check in, so enjoy it. Enjoy it. That doesn't happen very often. Baker, they are super cute. And yeah, seeing them get to open their eyes is like, oh, it's just amazing. It really is. They're just like so cute and vulnerable, and like they look so sad. They look so annoyed, honestly. They look annoyed because they can't open their eyes all the way. So they're just like, they look like they're just skeptical and frustrated all the time. Which is kind of funny. All right. Let's get on to the stove. We're going to do this second round. We have liquid that is hot here. It's simmering. I'm going to take this and dump a little bit of it into this bowl. So what I did was reduce I reduced the quality of this camera and the overhead camera. Honestly, y'all, I don't see much of a difference. Mix, I agree. Yeah, cats arrive with a complete personality. They are who they are right from the beginning. And sometimes you can tell real early on. Okay, I'm just pouring some hot into here, and let's give this a moment. So I'm stirring some hot liquid in here. We have one whole egg and 1 egg yolk in this version. Darla, I am back. We've been having some troubles today, obviously. But we'll see. Hopefully I made a few changes. I downscaled 2 of the 3 cameras. And if we spike again, I'm gonna downsample the main camera. So if anything that comes out of your chat at this point that is like nonsensical, I'm just gonna make some assumptions. All right, again, just tempering hot liquid in here so that the egg doesn't cook. What if we just... Oh, there we go. What happens, Soph, what happens when we go, pss, 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 pss. Come here, come here, pss, 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 pss. Come on up here. Hit the keys. Type in the password. Type in the password. Okay, almost done. This should be pretty good. This should be pretty good. Whoa, 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 whoa. We're jumping all around. All right, let's turn this back on. Turn it on to 4 again, and we should be good to put this back in and bring this up to temp. Remember when I said I was going to do 3 recipes today? And then I laughed and laughed. Okay, let's get this to a custardy situation. Yes, all the animals come to me. Baker, that is insidious. Did I have coffee today? Oh, Are we frozen again? I actually did have coffee today. I had it on stream. It was 11:30 in the morning when I started, so I had a cup of coffee. Knox, welcome in. Yes, today was in fact a coffee day. All right, so we're getting our foam here. This is good. Basically, we foam for a little bit. It gets a bunch of the, it gets cooked, and kind of similar to browning butter or candying pecans. It hits the tipping point, and then you get sort of a thick custard, and then you're good. Can tell. Yeah, I can feel it too. Saturday, when we were at the Southeast Asian market, and I had that sugarcane juice, I very seriously was like, I could run through a wall right now without even, no pain. I could just go right through a wall. Their cats are hefty. Oh my God. That's so funny. Sita, you did it though. Did you decide to clean first, or did you go for the onions? Knox, that menu command there, that last one, the cookies, we may not get to that today. Although I am about to finish this recipe, so this is another few moments and this one will be completely finished. Not completely finished, it has to rest until tomorrow, but it'll be finished with what we're doing today. So this is good. We are thickening, we're definitely thickening up here. Thickening, the foam is subsiding, and I'm gonna thicken this again, just a few minutes past the foam, and then we'll be ready to drop this into the orzo. This one, remember, I'm not adding the fruit to this yet. We're keeping the fruit separate, and the fruit will get added tomorrow along with the Cool Whip. So we're gonna put the fruit in a separate container as well. And I'm actually gonna mix this orzo and sauce in a separate container as well that has a lid that I can use. Okay, turning that down just a little bit. I'm also sort of fishing in the cabinet down here with my other hand. I'm stirring and getting containers out of the cabinet at the same time. There we go. All right. How's that CPU holding up? 4%. That's good. How have I not had OBS as my highest priority application? Every single day. You know what's kind of funny? Not funny. I was talking to last night. Okay, this looks good. We're like gelatinous here. So this is a good, this is the consistency I'm looking for. What was I saying? Oh, last night I was at Calvin's karate class. I took him to karate yesterday, as I often do on Monday nights. I love taking him on Monday nights because I'm usually like doing some final meal planning stuff, and anyway, I can just sit there. Not relevant. Only relevant insofar as I didn't get to do any of this yesterday because I was talking to this person. Anyway, I was talking to another parent there, and her son is younger as well, and she was like, she and I have never talked really talked before, but we were sitting out in the hallway, and she was like, oh yeah, my son wants to like be a streamer. He wants to like get into streaming. And she was like, I don't know anything about it. I don't know. I'm just like so lost. And I was like, oh, what, tell me a little bit more. What do you want to know, And she's like trying to be supportive. And she's like, I gave him my old laptop, but it seems really slow, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it was funny because I was talking to her, and obviously we talked about, I outed myself as, hey, I may know what you're talking about when you say OBS. I don't know much, but, and I was just like, she was like, how do I make things work faster? Like, it's like lagging. He's trying to play Fortnite. He's trying to play Fortnite and stream off of a laptop that's not made for either one of those things. And I was like, yeah, it's going to be tough because, all of these reasons. And it's so funny because just last night I was saying to this person, like, yeah, I've had issues with that in the past. Like, I feel like I've got it in a good place right now. And that was last night. And the very next day, the very next day, streams crashed twice. Anyway, hopefully OBS is feeling some love now and priority. And hopefully that helps. It should be the priority. Nothing else is open that needs to be running. I did jinx myself. I basically did. But I was also like, hey, she was talking about like webcams and all that. And I was like, she's like, yeah, I'm just using the computer, like the camera on the computer. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I have like an extra webcam from somewhere, from at some point. I just replaced this one. And I'm not giving up the old stove cam, but the camera that used to be this one, which is not this one anymore, I have still. So I think I'm going to give her, just going to give her that one and be like, here's a better camera than the one that's at the top of your laptop screen. Here's one you can adjust. So we'll see. And she was like, oh, maybe, she was like, can I ask you if you have any, can I like ask you questions? And I was like, yeah, definitely. You could definitely ask me questions. Whether or not I'm going to give you an answer or know the answer, who's to say? The stove cam is going in the museum. So if the old stove cam is sitting over there on the counter in the starting soon corner, like I'm not going to use it again. Fuck, that is so phenomenally good. Oh my God. It's also just pure sugar. That is, has a little bit different flavor. So that extra egg yolk boosted that nicely. We'll see. We're gonna let this one soak. So this is now ready for its journey in the fridge overnight. There it is. So we'll put the lid on that. And we'll put the fruit in here. So I have a couple theories about what may happen. I kind of feel like the version that's going to be drier is the second, maybe the second version, meaning this one that I'm making now, because this fruit's going to have all night to sit and sort of the juice kind of come out of it, like leach out of it, because it's not sitting in juice anymore. And then I'll dump that juice out the next day, as opposed to that salad that I had in there where the juice is going to sit there and maybe not all of it is going to get absorbed. Certainly not all of it will get absorbed. So ultimately, I feel like this one may be maybe better in the sense that the fruit, it may be sort of less wet. We were saying earlier how this type of salad can get liquid in it. It can get like real liquidy because it's also a Cool Whip. We're adding like whipped topping. So that we'll see how it turns out. That's why I'm making 2 versions. I'm making 2 versions so that I have options. And then next week after I actually write this recipe out like completely, we'll do we'll do 1 version of the final recipe and test it that way. And I got ingredients to do that already. So like I already have the pineapple tidbits. I already have, you know, the maraschino cherries. I've got all this stuff. That is a lot of leftover juice. That's a lot of juice. All right, clear the counter here. I'm gonna get started on our second recipe. That one feels good. It took us a long time to get there, and I'm sorry that we had so many tech issues, but they may happen again, and I couldn't have helped it. I could have helped it. I could have changed all those settings ahead of time, proactively. I didn't. It's all right. All right, let's finish with this towel. Finish with those towels, all of those towels. And then the next recipe is dinner. And I'm going to be able, I'm only making 1 version of this. So the Rosamarina, excuse me. The Rosamarina is 2 versions because it's not something I've made before. And I'm tweaking a recipe that exists already to try to make it even easier. And the succotash, which is what we're doing next, is just dinner. I've made it once already. I made it on stream. I have notes about what I did and how to make it. So what I need to do now, what I need to do to make that today is 1, I need to measure my ingredients that I put in, and 2, I need to make notes on timing, on the cooking aspect of it, and visuals. Timing, so like what does it look like? What does it smell like? What does it feel like when you stir it? Tactile notes. I'm not making like multiple versions. So it is completely, we're gonna make dinner as if I was just making it up, but we're gonna keep track of what's happening, right? Sometimes you send it, sometimes it doesn't work. I know. Yeah, sometimes it's like, I can't help it, you know, when the stream crashes and OBS is just like, hey, we're not gonna work today. But you know what else? I just thought about this too. I updated the NVIDIA driver, just updated yesterday. And that usually what happens is the NVIDIA driver updates and then OBS updates like a week later. So maybe it might be something where like that is like an issue that I can't actually help. I don't know. Fudge Darling, welcome in. I love succotash too. This is a bit different. This is like a different type of version of succotash, and I'll get into the differences in just a moment here. Yeah, Sky Blue, the Cool Whip could be leaching. It's fruit juice. It's fruit juice and Cool Whip, and then heat. Like, you have to cool everything down, and then you really only add the Cool Whip like a day, an hour or 2 before you're eating. An hour or 2 before you eat. You're not supposed to put the Cool Whip in it and then like let it sit for a long time. You can, and several several versions of different ambrosia and Cool Whip style salads I saw online. I'm gonna wash my hands here. All said, if you let it sit in the fridge overnight, or like, you know, basically if there are leftovers and you want to eat them the next day, to pour off the liquid that's accumulated and then stir the rest of it again. So I think this recipe sort of openly acknowledges that if you let it sit for a while, it's going to have some liquid in it. But that is the salad. These are my notes. And let's start recipe number 2. It is a known problem. Yeah, I think like anything, and you're right, like the Cool Whip is definitely an issue. But I mean, the fruit, you know, once you kind of put the fruit in, you know, that also is very liquidy. Like the fruit just remains liquidy. Notifications. Did Gwen text me? No, she did not. Okay. So we're doing a succotash. Succotash historically, traditionally, is a lima bean and corn recipe that's finished with butter and a little bit of heavy cream or milk. I'm not using butter. I'm not using heavy cream. Instead of that, I'm going to use some pesto. So like instead of the butter for oil, I'm using some pesto. And then the heavy cream, I'm not really replacing with anything, but succotash typically has okra in it. And instead of the okra providing a thick sort of, okra has this like thick, mucousy sort of filling inside of it. And instead of that, we're going to use some of the water from the beans. I'm also going to use canned corn. I like canned corn better than frozen corn. So we're going to use some canned corn. And what other differences are there? I'm using bell pepper. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Those are the differences. Took all that fruit juice from our oranges and pineapples. That was pear juice and pineapple juice. That is so good. There we go. All right. Now, there's a lot of information about different types of beans, different types of like what you're supposed to do with this. I'm going to prep all my ingredients first. Then we're going to put all this together in a Dutch oven. I am going to use, once again, I'm going to use Drew's Dutch oven because it is better than mine. It's not better. Better is not the right term. I like this one better because that Dutch oven is round. That's it. That's the reason. Oof. Excuse me. That was audible. Oh, sorry. All right. Here's, even I feel better. Oh God. I'm so embarrassed. This new, I said earlier on stream, much earlier, that there's a lot of sounds that happen on this stream that I ignore, generally speaking, because they are not they don't come through on the microphone, and I changed my mic settings. So now you can hear every little sound, which is great. Which I kind of like, because now that means there's like kitchen sounds in the stream, right? Which there weren't before. Like, I kind of appreciate that. Velos, welcome back. Velos, I saw you say hi earlier as I was like having issues. So thank you for saying hi again. Welcome in. I hope you're having a good one. Happy Tuesday, or as we're calling it today, Who's Day. I made some notes on what I put in this last time. It worked really well. I made this up last time. There was no recipe. So we're gonna just basically try that same thing. Okay. 2 cans of butter beans, 1 shallot, 8 to 10 cloves of garlic, it says. You know I wrote this recipe, because it's 10 cloves of garlic. 1 red bell pepper, 2 ears worth of corn kernels. I don't have any fresh corn today, so I can't do that. But we're going to use canned corn, and that's okay. Thyme, chicken stock, and pesto, or more herbs. If I need to do more herbs in this, which I don't, I have pesto today. I think we'll need to add olive oil to that, because the pesto is taking the place of butter in this dish. So let me take a note here. All right, so this is what we have: 2 cans of butter beans and bean can water reserved. 1 shallot, finely diced. 8 to 10 cloves of garlic, chopped. I kind of want to make this, I kind of want to slice the garlic and not chop it, because I sort of want like little slices of garlic. So let's do that instead, because that just provides more like volume, like visual volume. Succotash can be a very visual dish. This, when I made it, was not visually appealing. It tasted amazing. It's one of those dishes where you're like, wow, that looks like a pile of glop, and then you put it in your mouth and you're like, that's delicious. Succotash typically is, it looks more like, I don't want to say salsa. It's like a vegetable salad almost. Like it's not like a chopped salad. It's not real thick. When I made this before, though, what I did was I took about half of the beans and like crushed them against the side of the pan. So I made it thicker by using crushed beans. I'm not going to do that today. I could do that. You can do that at the end. You can always just crush some of the beans up at the end and just like make it thicker, right? Broccoli, welcome in. Hello. Good to have you. Velos, it does use lima beans traditionally, and today we are using, instead of lima beans, which are yucky, we're going to use butter beans, which are yummy and not at all the same thing. They're the same thing. Anyway, we talked about this earlier. This is straight up branding. This is just a branding difference. This literally says butter beans. This can is next to the lima beans in the store. I reiterate, there are also beans with the same picture on them next to this in the store that say lima beans. They're literally just a different label. Main ingredient, only ingredient, prepared large lima beans. I maintain that the lima bean to butter bean marketing transition is just the best bean marketing glow up ever, maybe ever. Like, name a bean that has moved from being roundly rejected and made fun of in cartoons and popular culture and media to a bean that is now named after, objectively, one of the best things that you can have, which is butter. Everything is better with butter, even just a name. Yes, agreed. That's why they named it that. So 2 cans of butter beans, 1 shallot, garlic, 1 red bell pepper, and instead of just like, I'm gonna weigh these too. Like, this is all just by weight. 2 ears worth of corn kernels. I believe that's gonna be about 2 cans. So because succotash historically and typically it is beans and corn and okra, we're gonna do the same amount of beans, same amount of corn. Bell pepper's kind of taking the place of an okra. It's not functionally, because it's texturally very different, but from a like number of ingredients, we have like the 3 main ingredients, right? Plus the aromatics. Thyme, chicken stock, and pesto. So thyme is here. Pesto, we just have the Wegmans Italian Classics basil pesto today. You could obviously make your own pesto. Thought lima beans had greenish skins. They do. I feel like lima beans, when you look up lima beans, do have they are green. I don't know why. Who's to say? Housekeeping note. We have an ad coming up in about 15 minutes. Not there yet, but just as a heads up. The other housekeeping note is, if we don't get to this breakfast cookie recipe today, the one that is in the title and the menu command, we'll get to it on Thursday. So we're going to be streaming again on Thursday. I kind of know what we're making on Thursday. I was going to make dinner last night. I didn't. As I said, I took Calvin to karate, so I'm going to make Thursday what I was going to make for dinner last night, and we'll also do those cookies. We'll do those cookies on Thursday. We'll make some notes on the rosmarina salad. Yes. Squab does sound better than pigeon. Yup. Exactly. It's all about the branding. 100% about the branding. All right. How's my CPU looking? Now I'm like, what's happening? Excuse me. God. Okay, it's looking fine, I suppose. All right. We just got to the time in the stream where it crashed. Basically the last 2 times. So I'm a little bit skittish over it at the moment. So Phil, thank you for the shout out. Okay, let's start prepping our ingredients here. I need a board for cutting, a mat for sticking, a scale for measuring, and some containers to put it all in. Not to keep it in, but to put it in. Okay, hold on. Before I do anything else, I need to do one thing here. I need to make sure, I just mentioned an ad earlier. When I restarted everything, I didn't pull Chrome back up so that I could have, be able to do words. Okay, there we go. I should also mention, excuse me. I should also mention that if you are lurking, thank you. Welcome. I appreciate you being here. Your presence is valued. If you are lurking and you're not a follower, go ahead and hit the follow button if you're enjoying any aspect of your time here. Follows are silent, so when you hit follow, literally nothing happens. I won't mention it. I will not mention it. There's no bot. Nothing happens with the bot. You just follow. There's no alerts. You can follow quietly. And if you are lurking, I appreciate you. Thank you. No need to chat. Happy to have you. Hanging out regardless. Listening to the dulcet tones of me filling the void with my voice. All right, hold on. Before we even start, we're gonna weigh these raw ingredients, just so that I know, sort of like as a baseline, how much I've got here. Red pepper is 237 whole, and then I also need to track these by cup measure. So let me get my cup measure out of the sink here. I need to rinse this off. So I want roughly the same amount of pepper as I do, not pepper, sorry, same amount of beans, same amount of corn. Pepper doesn't really matter. Hell, broccoli, that sounds fantastic. Coleslaw with some Easter ham and a little cheese in it. That's a hearty coleslaw. I love that. Keep thinking of David Bowie and Labyrinth. I kind of love that. I don't wear this sweater very often, but I do love it. Okay, so we're trimming this. Trimming. God, I really think the bench scraper might excuse me, might be my favorite kitchen tool. It's like, I'd be hard pressed to find a tool that I reach for more. Maybe, I don't know, maybe the spatula. Okay, so we're just gonna cut this pretty small. I don't need the peppers to be big and chunky like the beans. Just like some small squared off little shapes would be fine. And I'm assuming that you can hear the chopping now, which is probably kind of nice. Man, I'm gonna go back and like look at this VOD. All three of the VODs so far. There's 3 different broadcasts today. And it's gonna be so weird. The sound to me, Just like the fact that there's actual sounds on the stream now is kind of odd. I'm still like having a hard time imagining that that any of this is actually coming through. Oh man. It's the season for coleslaw too. All those it's cold salad season. It's definitely cold salad season. So this doesn't need to cook all that long. This is actually a fairly straightforward recipe and process, which is great. This is sort of it could be pretty quick on a weeknight type of meal. When I make this for a test, again, so similar to the Rosa Marina salad, next week at some point, we'll test this, like we'll finish the recipe before I submit it, and we'll make it straight through following the directions exactly. But this is a fairly simple, should be fairly simple. Okay, let's weigh this and weight and volume measurement. I know I lost one over the side. I saw it go. Yep. Okay. Weight is 183. And volume is 1.5 cups. 1.5. Oh, crab salad. Hell yeah. I hated mayo-based salads. I know. I was like, it was very funny to me because I love mayo-based salads. But I get the point that it's not a salad in any traditional sense of the word, or it's not a salad in a way that a lot of people would recognize the word salad. I feel like mayo salad, is that an American thing? I feel like that it feels kind of American to me. If not American, maybe North American. But I don't really know. I don't have enough cultural acumen to determine whether that's true. Okay, let's cut up a shallot. Do the shallot now. Mayo-based pasta salad, so fluff. I can definitely get down some mayo-based pasta salad. I love chicken salad. That's probably my favorite mayo-based salad. Hey, thanks for the shout out to Cheese. That was a really, really fun stream. I really had such a good time hanging out with John, and would do again. Would definitely do again. He was it's so weird. The meeting somebody in real life is super weird, generally speaking. And it's interesting because like we're meeting on streams, we're both like also live at the same time. So to say like, oh, somebody's the same as they all, somebody's the same IRL as they are on stream. Like I can't, it's hard to tell because like I wasn't, we were both live, so we were both on stream, and obviously you're that's who you are on stream. But I did, he was very genuine to hang out with, and we also hung out for just a little bit after raiding out, and really nice human, generally good human. Wish I didn't have an unscheduled nap. It happens. I do love an unscheduled nap though, if I'm being real. An unscheduled nap that I didn't oversleep. An unscheduled nap that didn't have any ramifications for like later in the day when I woke up in a panic. Perfect. Perfect. Baker, it was really fun. Yeah, it was really fun. I was it was interesting because he had reached out to me a few weeks ago about doing I think it was the Cherry Blossom Festival in Philly. He was like going to stream that a couple weekends ago, maybe 3 weekends ago, and I wasn't available. Well, actually, I mean, if I'm being real honest, I was not doing anything that day, but it was like it was too spontaneous for me. And he reached out for that, but then I was like, well, I can't do that, but like, do you want to go to the Asian, the Southeast Asian market instead? Which she was totally into. So that was fun. And it was a good day. I'm so glad that the weather was like cooperative. The weekend before was absolutely awful. This weekend is supposed to be kind of crappy. At least where I am. Gotcha. Thank you. We're gonna weigh this. We're gonna volumize this, and then we're gonna have a little ad break. Just a heads up, y'all. I'm gonna have an ad coming up. It's about a minute here. Okay, let's do, I got a 1/4 cup measure? I do. So that is 1/4 cup. About a 1/2 cup of shallot. Okay. All right, we're gonna take a quick ad break. We'll BRB. We're gonna run an ad, we're gonna play some words on stream, and we'll be right back. Here it comes.
Hi, welcome to another edition of Commercials I Hate.
All right.
Hi, welcome to another edition of Commercials I Hate.
Why are we saying that twice, bot? No, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know why I did that twice, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, 44. Okay. 1/2 cup of those. I'm going to take the opportunity to empty the dishwasher. At least start the process of emptying the dishwasher, because I have a sink full of dishes and they can all go in the dishwasher. So I need to make some space in there to do that. So we're going to do it while these ads are running. And then we'll get back to the cooking in just a moment here. If you're hearing the sound of my voice, you know what? I appreciate you. You know why? Because you're a subscriber or a Twitch Turbo member. But either way, you've contributed financially to the channel, and that is amazing and very much appreciated. I use the money that comes from subscribers to support the stream and my life in general, because I don't have another job. So I appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot. You know what? I should probably say that again when talking to people who are not already subscribed. Okay. Anyway, we're getting there. Beautiful. All right, about 45 seconds worth of ads, and then we'll be back. Just moving along, emptying the dishwasher. Again, I have a sink full of dishes, but we're almost finished here. Look at that. I'm going to empty the whole dishwasher in the time it takes an ad to run. I did it. Hey, if you're on Twitch, welcome back. Thank you for your patience. The ads are over. And I appreciate you for hanging out. Because if you can still hear me, that means you hung out. Thanks. Last couple guesses here on the words on stream we have going on. Just about there. It's a male chicken. It is broccoli, and honestly, like, that's a word I don't understand. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it just doesn't. Just doesn't. Sometimes it's just not in its dictionary. Earlier, I attempted to play the word meme, and it would not let me. Which is, like, annoying, because, like, this is a game on the internet. You all should know. It should be obvious, the word meme. Yeah, Velos, it has a really sort of heavy filter, for lack of a better term. Okay, we're gonna take some garlic here. I should also say, I said this during the ad break, if you don't like ads on the channel, consider subscribing. Consider using your Prime sub to subscribe. There's a button right here on the screen that's gonna let you do that if you click the little crown. If you're on desktop. Consider subscribing, as Twitch is one form of income, how I support myself. I don't have a full-time job. I have lots of little jobs. And Twitch is one of the ways that I support myself. So, or rather, it's not, you know, your subscribing supports the stream, it supports Cookie Club, it supports dishes that I'm making, and my continued ability to do the thing. So I do appreciate it. If you were hanging out and you heard if you can hear me during the ads, thanks. All right, now I'm going to slice this garlic instead of anything, chopping it, dicing it, what have you. I'm going to slice it real thin and saute it like that, or cook it like that in the pan. So this is a pretty straightforward recipe. Most of the time here is ingredient prep. If you were using like fresh ears of corn, that would obviously take a little longer. If you were shucking and growing your own lima beans, that would also take longer. It's interesting. I don't know. Do any of y'all know anything about cooking lima beans? There was a few folks online. There's a few folks online that were like, you have to cook lima beans first. You have to cook them for like X number of minutes in order for them not to be like dangerous to eat. Now, I've never done that, and I don't know how valid that is. I'm curious if anyone else has an opinion. Pock, welcome. Fishy gray extract. What is that? I'm not familiar. or rather, what is the name of it? But yeah, a couple resources online said lima beans were like basically like going to kill you if you don't cook them in advance. And I, by virtue of standing here, I think that that's not true. So if I was wondering one thing, I was asking Puck what fishy gray extract is, but the broader question that I'm sort of rambling on about is the lima beans. I read several folks online said that they were, it's bad if you don't cook them in advance. So basically, like if you're going to use this can of beans, that's corn. If you're going to use this can of beans in a dish, that you should cook them first for like 10 or 15 minutes. It said there's some sort of like leached, basically it was like, you know, if you, like there's a certain chemical in here like cyanide or arsenic or old lace, who knows, for that leaches out when you cook them. And basically it's like, if you don't cook them first, it's going to leach into your dish. I've never heard that before. Aren't canned beans already cooked? Yup. Yeah, Velos, that's my thought. Okay. Damn the man. We're not doing it. We're not doing any sort of pre-cooking here. I feel like that's true if maybe you are using like dried lima beans that you soaked and then something like that. Maybe? I don't know. It's like an herb from a tree. Interesting. Pongy banana. I've never heard of it, but a fermented banana sounds really interesting, like unique. I'd eat it. I'm not going to do it. Like, I'm not doing that. Surfer says, I don't always warm canned beans. Yeah, like, if you have a cold bean salad, you had a cold lima bean salad, you would open this can, you would drain it, you would rinse it, and then you would dump them into the salad. You wouldn't cook them first unless they needed it. Like, they're definitely already cooked. I don't know. Broccoli says, not a fan of beans in general, but some give me less gas than others. I'm fine with pinto or black. But they cook for a while. Yes, the dry black eyed peas and grandpa and Kentucky Wonder Beans. Ooh, Kentucky Wonder Beans. I've never heard of those. Rinse. Damn it. Okay. Oh, I need to take that second thing. I need to change the rinse message. That didn't count. I was referring to the message. Okay. An herbal tea vanilla essence. That sounds really fantastic then. Like banana and vanilla are like a classic. That's a good combo. Okay, so we've got some garlic. I'm just going to, like I said, I'm just cutting this. This is something I could use a mandolin for, and it would be quicker / more terrifying. So this recipe is one I made up on stream. It came from, I did this in 2023, I think it was. I believe that's the date from when this was originally made. And actually, hold on, I can, I'm going to do something real quick here. Can I change this to, yes, I can. Okay. Give me 1 second. I want to show you, I want to show you what this looked like originally. That way you'll have a reference for what I'm talking about. Where's my phone? Okay. Bear with me for 1 second, because I've never logged into this account on this device. Okay. Continue. Create a pass. Nope, I don't want that. Okay, here we go. All I'm doing is looking for. I'm not looking for. I know where it is. I just need to get to it. Here we go. Okay, this. Confirm. Confirm. Okay. In chat is a link to what this dish is, or at least what it looked like the last time I made it. Okay. Broccoli says of Kentucky Wonder Beans, they're heirloom pole beans, wonderful fresh, but there are always some pods that get big and tough, so let them mature and dry and shell them. And fresh beans are so good. If you have like beans that have never been dried, never been canned, just like real brand new fresh beans, holy crap. Can improve the texture, SoFluff says. Okay. Yeah, I feel like the canned, I'm not calling for dried rehydrated beans here. So like, I feel like if you had to cook the beans in the can before you ate them, there would be a giant warning on the can. At least I would hope so. I would imagine so. But you know how it is. You get on the internet and you read things and you're like, oh, I don't know. What's the most exotic dish you've ever tried or attempted? Let's see. I made a corn tart one time that used corn in like 4 different ways and took several hours to complete, and that was complicated. I don't know if you'd call it exotic, but it's, you know, it was complicated. Corn Day was amazing. Corn Day was a lot of fun. We should do Corn Day again this year. I didn't do Corn Day last year. Corn Day was in 2023. 2023. A while ago. It literally was. So if I did not do a Corn Day last summer at all. I'm pretty sure. Okay, so this is about 1/3 a cup of garlic and weighs, wait, I'm gonna put the garlic in with the shallot at the same time. So I can just weigh the garlic right with the shallot. Perfect. Okay. Garlic, 39 grams. We're going to call that 40. How is that possible? I know, right? I know, but I'm pretty sure it was. Like, I remember, because I feel like I remember last time there was like fresh corn all around. I was like, oh, I should do that again. And now I'm like, I think that was my thought last season was like, I should do that again because it was 2 seasons ago that I did. Has the same effect as searing. That sounds, Puck, that's interesting. Raw minced pork. I don't know if I would want raw, like a pork tartare like that. I'm not a big fan of like raw meat in general. As much as I love corn on the cob, Broccoli says these days I have to carve it off. Yeah, I mean, certainly corn on the cob is fun, and then you have to like race to the bathroom to use the floss. I can't. I have a hard time eating it because I immediately want to floss afterward. Okay, so we have two 15.5-ounce cans of corn. Yeah, Puck, I would definitely try it. I think don't hear me that I wouldn't try it. I feel like I would try it with some reservations. So I'm draining off the corn here. And what I want to do, I'm draining the corn, but the reason I'm draining the corn is I basically want to see how many, what my cup situation is. Cups, weight and cups, weight and volume. I'll try anything once. Yeah, I feel like that's the right move. Lissy, welcome in. Good to see you. I hope you're having a good Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to ya. Happy Tuesday to ya. Happy Tuesday. Corn tart picture, August 23. There it is, so fluff. Going back. Yeah, it was right after. It should have been shortly above the one that I just posted in chat. Because the one that I just posted, I think, was from May, if I'm remembering correctly. Well, that's a good thing I looked. Fuck. I just poured the bean water into the corn water, and I wanted to save the bean water. It's okay. We'll save 1 can worth of bean water. I didn't stack I stacked the beans, the corn and the beans, like, not on top of each other. It's annoying. It's a good one for me too. Thanks, Lissy. I'm glad you're doing well. It's Tuesday's the worst day of the week, generally speaking. I think for me, for my emotional landscape, there is no day worse than Tuesday. Actually, emotionally, that's not true. Tuesday is usually a good day. Gwen's often at her office all day on Tuesday, and Calvin's, generally speaking, at school. Pause, Lou, you're talking. Let's make sure you're doing the right thing. Okay, corn. I'm pouring the corn. I do want to drain the corn, so I'm pouring the corn water into here. But we're going to move that completely off to the side, and the next one is going right in there. It's fine. We're going to save one can worth of bean water. I don't think I need that much more. Okay, volume-wise, the corn is coming along. This is a little more than 2 cups here. There's a lot more than 2 cups there. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to measure the volume of this. So that is 2 cups, and we're at 341 grams. So 341. And then how many cups is this? 1. So 3 cups of corn. Three cups, about 550 grams. Okay. What did I say? 551? Great. Kiddos off to school, Sofa says. Yeah, Tuesday's usually a calm day for me. It's a good day for streaming, and I'm really trying to like stick to a schedule of Tuesday, Thursday, which we're going to be doing at least the next 3 weeks. At least the next 3 weeks is going to be Tuesday, Thursday are our stream days. A little bit longer streams on those days. Just like kind of like today, we're doing a little bit longer. It doesn't look like it. It looks like we've only been live for an hour and a half, but I did start at 11:30 a.m. and then again at like 1 p.m. So we've had some fits and starts today, but I'm trying to keep a more regular schedule. Tuesday historically has been a day that I kind of hate because it is professionally when you're sort of like, okay, I'm back in it. Tuesday's like, Monday, at least the weekend was yesterday. Tuesday's like, well, yesterday was a work day, and then the next, 3 days are all work days, and that sucks too. So, yeah. Yeah, broccoli, always use creamed canned corn for corn chowder. Canned corn is crisper, one, and functionally, the other thing with canned corn is that it hasn't been frozen. And so when you reheat it, it stays firmer, like it stays crisp, which is great. Like that's kind of ideal. So we're saving the bean water from one can. Let's take a volume measure of this, please, and thank you. That is 177 grams of bean water. And volume-wise, what is that? That's probably about half a cup. 3/4 of a cup. Okay. Yeah. 3/4 of a cup. So that's going to be used in place of the okra, not the okra, the solid, but okra, the thickening juice part of the okra. I'm going to keep this bean/corn water that I have over there in reserve, just in case. Yeah, just in case. All right, I've got about 3 cups of corn. Let's do the same volume measurements for the beans. We'll do cups and weight. So cups should have less cups of the beans. I feel like the beans are looser in the can. The corn is like packed in a lot tighter. So I love creamed corn. I grew up with creamed corn. It was a sort of staple in the house. We got it from a can. My mom always had like canned creamed corn. So it was sort of like the easiest thing to do. All right, we've got that's 2 cups. And all right, 2 3/4 cups. Almost, right, just about the same as the corn. 2 3/4 cups, 484 grams. Corn. Okay. thyme, chicken stock, pesto, all the rest of that is all of the rest of that is not really measured. Although the pesto I can measure in like a the thyme I can measure in a tablespoon-like format. So let's do that now, and we'll just do, what does it say? 1 tablespoon of fresh thyme. Great. Perfect. Broccoli, yeah, the frozen corn going into a casserole is fine. Basically, like the frozen corn leaching water is always the problem, because it was frozen and the cell walls degrade, and you can't really help that. It's just how it is. Lizzie says, I've only ever accidentally bought creamed corn. That does happen, and yeah, if you get creamed corn versus like whole kernel corn, it can definitely be upsetting. I agree with you. What is succotash? Succotash is basically lima beans and corn kernels, Broccoli said. Your generalized succotash recipe is going to be, you cook your lima beans, you add your corn, you add okra, you let that simmer with a little bit of liquid, and then you add milk and butter at the end, and you cook that for just like a few moments, like a couple minutes, maybe like 2 or 3 minutes, and then that's it. It's usually served as a side dish, as like a hot side. It's really good with summer corn, so it's a perfect sort of like, you get that real fresh summer corn, you throw that in basically like right at the end. And it goes well. It goes well just like you eat it with a spoon, or I like to make it a main and serve it with some bread or a salad. You can serve it with pasta too. It works really well with pasta. It works great with another grain. So there's kind of a lot of options that you have to adjust it if you want, or you can just eat it out of the bowl. But it is a pretty straightforward recipe. The most work is in the prep, which is what I'm doing now. CPU is very high. Stream rate is dropping. I believe that we are crashing again. Cool. Let's open up. Let's see if I can open the task manager. And maybe we can cut this off. Nope. Yeah, it's spiked. Fuck. What? WTF, OBS? What are you doing? What are you doing with yourself? Why are you like this right now? Okay. Working on it all. When my main camera is on. So I'm going to try something here. Bear with me. Let's see if I can do this while I'm live. It might not move. All the video all the way. Yeah, it is crashing out. Oh, hold on. The CPU is taxed. I better get that out.